there, it's Tania Gabrielle, Wealth Astro-Numerologist. Welcome to Star Codes. This is the forecast where we look at a celestial event in the stars and numbers to get a message, a reading on how it will impact us and what we can do to prepare and navigate through it. And in this case, it's a really big event, probably the biggest of the year. It is a total lunar eclipse in Taurus with the sun in Scorpio, and lunar eclipses are full moon eclipses, so you can imagine the intensity. Well, the numerology code echoes that, as do the astrology transits around this eclipse. So let's start with the date. It happens on November 8th, 2022, and that date adds up to the number 16, which we'll go into in a moment. It happens at 11:01 a.m. Universal Time, which is 6:01 a.m. Eastern and 3:01 a.m. Pacific Time. So, as I said, the date adds up to 16. November 8th, 2022, add up all the digits, it equals 16. And this eclipse takes place at 16 degrees. The sun in Scorpio at 16 degrees and the moon in Taurus at 16 degrees. So we have not only a triple 16 code, which is the code of unbelievable change, shifts that you have to navigate with your intuition, with your heart. Your mind will not assist you in these sudden changes, unexpected events as they appear. So there's a lot of almost like the shifting of plates, the shifting of energetic frequencies. This is going to demand all your intuitive resources. And the number 8 is also doubly activated because November 8th echoes November's 8 universal month. November 2022 resonates to 8, and it's an 8 universal day. So we have a double 8, and 8 is the number of leadership and strength and courage and overcoming obstacles through tremendous sense of responsibility and confidence, and it's also a number of abundance. So it's the infinity sign, the number 8. And it also represents the upper and lower. It has two windows, top and bottom, and so it represents the light and the shadow as well, right? That both are part of living life on Earth. So a lot already there. And then in the astrology, the same themes are activated. We have an exact conjunction with Uranus and the moon. Uranus is also at 16 degrees, so this makes it a quadruple 16 code. Uranus echoes the theme of the number 16, unexpected events, needing to really tune into your intuition for guidance. All of those are the same energetic frequency, so it's like we just have to know that this will be part of the eclipse, the major shifts and changes. And of course, Uranus is opposite the sun, and that also leaves a deep impact because the sun then will want to bring balance through dealing in the best way possible with unforeseen events. So adapting to them, not resisting to the changes, transcending fears that come up. So it's very important to be very proactive with this opposition to the sun. And then we also have a stellium, a triple conjunction of the sun with Mercury, so sun 16 degrees, Mercury 15 degrees, and Venus on the other side at 20 degrees in Scorpio. And this is tremendously empowering because Scorpio is a very powerful themed sign as it purges and rebirths, and as a result, we gain empowerment from that. So when we add Venus and Mercury, it feels very personal. It feels really exciting and very deep, very profound. And then, of course, this is a Taurus eclipse, a Taurus lunar eclipse, and Taurus rules productivity and your values. It rules pleasure and beauty and security and grounding and your voice through Venus, the ruler. And because Venus is opposite the moon, remember the Venus is part of the stellium, so it's opposite the moon, merged with the sun and Mercury. Venus is the ruler of this full moon eclipse. So there is again this tension that needs to be resolved. So a lot of energy that's coming to a head here regarding your values and perseverance and inner peace and contentment and sensuality and everything to do with what you appreciate. These are all Taurus themes, and abundance and financial flow, persistence and progressing step by step. And speaking of progressing step by step, there's one more amazing, powerful component to the astrology that gets activated, and that is that the sun and moon create a T-square with Saturn. Saturn's at 18 degrees in Aquarius. Aquarius and Scorpio and Taurus are all fixed signs, so this creates a fixed T-square, which is, definitely not wanting to move very easily. So it'll take some exciting energy, surprising energy that will then lift it up and take it out of the fixity, if that's a word. I don't know if it is. But so this fixed square is very deep because Saturn is very much about timing and destiny and taking responsibility and creating boundaries and bringing in a sense of limitation, but not to limit you, but to create more of a honed in feeling of what you need to focus on as opposed to what you might be distracting yourself with. So Saturn always takes you back to the core. So again, the theme of taking responsibility is really, really strong. And of course, Aquarius, where Saturn is the symbol of the age we are transitioning into from the Piscean age. So the timing of our awakening, which Aquarius represents, is tuned into Saturn being in that sign, and Saturn creating a T-square with a total lunar eclipse in fixed signs means all the stuff that we've been holding on to for dear life or not realizing we're holding on to because it's unconscious, all of that will come to the surface. That's what Scorpio will do, right? And Taurus will want to attend to these things. Taurus is very responsible and reliable. So much to consider here. And remember that Venus is conjunct the sun, and Mercury is also conjunct the sun. And Venus, being the ruler of this amazing eclipse, will bring a lot of relief through beauty and creativity, pleasure, just focusing on things that feel good, that taste good, that feel pleasurable and beautiful. So now I'm going to circle back to the number 16 because there's so many themes with this eclipse. And the reason I'm going to circle back is 16 reduces to 7, and that sets up a 7777 code, quadruple 7 code, as well as the quadruple 16 code. And 7 is the number of nature. Yes, it governs research, and it governs meditation and silence and serenity and everything to do with listening. And therefore, it also governs you being able to get that sense of silence and meditation and serenity by going out into nature, by hugging a tree, by walking barefoot on the ground if you're able to, and if not, just being outside. Appreciating Mother Nature is going to be a key component of staying in balance at this time. And keep in mind, too, that next year, 2023, is a 7 universal year. So this activation of the 7 and 16 is, in a way, a preparation. It is taking us into a place of absolute release and intuitive awareness and opening up our heart, right? Breaking open the heart, basically, through all these incredibly strong transits and numbers codes that are so intensified through their doubling up and quadrupling up that we have no choice, really, but to do that. And so it prepares us then for that incredibly fortunate 7 universal year in 2023. Now, to get more details about 2023, go to 2023forecast.com. I am going to hold an incredible live stream called the Ultimate Yearly Forecast. It's my 9th year of doing this, so it's the 9th edition, and it's going to be amazing. It's going to be tremendous. The actual live stream is on December 14th, but there'll be a replay as well, and there's so many bonuses and handouts, and I think you'll really enjoy that. So if you're interested, we still have the early bird price available for a little bit longer. Go to 2023forecast.com. So with this lunation, with this unbelievable eclipse, it's a priority, especially now, to relax daily into your heart, your inner sanctuary. Scorpio cleanses. Taurus is there to basically hold your hand and guide you and ground you. So it's very important to release any feelings that as they come up, so not to ignore them or wish they weren't there, but to literally feel them, and any beliefs that are causing you stress, causing you separation from others. It's important to really look at that and feel your way through that, so you feel the wholeness again, the unity again. Now, during any full moon, the sun and moon are opposite each other, and so it is during this Taurus total lunar eclipse. Now, due to the nature of the Astro-Numerology code, the powerful number 8, which is doubled up, the conjunctions to the sun and moon, the Tsquare to Saturn, this total eclipse will bring in and magnify polarization. And when you take a side in anything, if you prefer one person over the other, for example, you can't see straight anymore because you've made a judgment about one being better and higher versus the other. And picking sides and pitching sides against each other eliminates your ability to tune into the heart and just feel the whole picture. That's really the concept and the idea and the experience of wholeness and unity. So once you engage in that entanglement of polarity, your internal sense of balance is gone. And any full moon is bringing that to your attention in some way in your life. So a full moon eclipse, especially a total one in Scorpio and Taurus, with the moon in Taurus, is going to be extra profound regarding this theme. So what happens then is you've chosen a side, and then you only see things pretty much from that one side, from that perspective only, and you miss out on half the experience because you're responding to energy in an incomplete way. It's like cooking a recipe and forgetting chemistry, the balance of sweet and salty, right? Or sweet and sour. And so that creates a perspective that's very, very limited because you're operating from lack or you're operating from separation. So the result is that the polarization creates this emotional vortex, and that feeds on itself. And the more polarized you feel, I'm against you, the more unbalanced your life will feel, because you become more easily unhinged anytime you're triggered by the other side, instead of neutralizing the trigger through self-awareness. So of course you can change this polarized state at any moment just by looking at the emotions that are coming up for you and seeing them as signposts for you, signals for you. Like, you light a fire and it's a signal, right? So the fire of this passionate emotional reaction is a signal of what needs to be changed within you, rather than opportunities to blame and pass judgment on the other side for whatever attack you feel or trigger you feel. So it's really a choice that you make. And the full moon, this particular one especially, is representative of that choice. So you want to be very vigilant, especially during this eclipse season, about choosing wholeness and harmony rather than separation and division. And always acknowledge that there are two sides of any coin. This is really vital. Otherwise, you show disdain for one side, and you're literally showing disdain for yourself, because you are whole, and you have light and dark, shadow and brightness. So if you show disdain for one side in favor of the other, you disregard half of life's experience. And without fully embracing that, there are going to be many perspectives that arise from many life experiences that lead people to feel a certain way. And then you're going to ignore that truth, that depending on what people have experienced in their life, they will lean certain ways here and there. But that doesn't mean that you leave them out, because then it's like you've left the sense of unity, the sense of love. So being at one with all requires the acceptance of all. And as we begin to accept others as they are, we also accept ourselves completely, right? Deeper levels come up and open our hearts, and we feel more authentic, compassionate, open, kind. And that requires tremendous amounts of love and acceptance, really profound love of situations and people as they are, detaching from your beliefs about them, basically surrendering your opinions. It requires dropping your desire for individual control as well. It really requires opening your heart and loving everything as it appears, everyone as they appear, because, and here's the thing, it's just an experience to begin with. So when you love everything, everything then comes to you, and that's when all fear disappears. And this is, again, a big topic of this eclipse season. We started with a Scorpio new moon eclipse on October 25th. We are ending with the November 8th eclipse with the sun in Scorpio and the moon in Taurus. And Scorpio is one of the signs that really address fear. So it is very important to look at everything as part of you, and then fear disappears because there's nothing to be afraid of. And from that higher awareness, all decisions and choices will be made for your highest good, because you're considering everything, you're conceiving everything, and life is flowing unimpeded by separation. And there's no more conflict, there's no more resistance, there's no more criticism. There's only an awareness of how to respond to each experience. So this is really the big message of this eclipse, and I hope it reaches your heart and you feel it resonates with you. And if it doesn't, that's okay too, right? Really, it is for you to know that you have everything it takes to be self-aware and set yourself free. And we're really going to cover this topic in the 2023 Ultimate Yearly Forecast, because it's going to be so critical to navigating the year next year. So again, to discover more about that amazing live stream, go to 2023forecast.com. And I so look forward to sharing that experience with you, giving you your handouts, looking at your star signs, looking at your numerology code. So make sure you get your early bird discount price at 2023forecast.com, and have a beautiful eclipse in Taurus. And I will see you in next week's Star Codes